So Dr. Alnes has his PhD, so he is absolutely not only a wealth of knowledge. He is the creator, developer, fountain of life. He's the man behind it. He's the genius, I'm going to say, behind this phenomenal formulation. And you've been able to do this phenomenal extraction, and I want to talk a little bit about that, because a lot of people say, how is it extracted? And here's what I can answer to you. Simple. It's his secret. That's basically the process that makes it unique. That's the process that makes
patented, right?
That's the process that makes it exclusive. And Dr. Alnes is the developer, the creator, and there is no other product like it. There is no other duplicate to it. There is no other company or brand or anything that is the same as what we have.
I want to talk quickly about our world exclusivity that we have with this product. So, I won't spend a lot of time on that, because everybody knows that if there's a company out there that comes and says, hey, we can white label the same product from the same factory, and what would your answer be to that?
Well, when we started, we made a contract, of course, and in the contract we specified the product you would get, and so on. And when things went further, we then made a more specific contract, and with that you have the right for this product that you sell, and there's details then in the contract. So
if somebody's making a claim right now.
Yeah, as I told you all the time, it is so that we have cosmetic products, as you told yourself, that we started with cosmetic products, and they are approved for cosmetic use. But for internal use, you have to make a separate product that then are food grade. And
yes.
That is what we talk with you.
So that's the one we use in the Fountain of Life.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm just going to say this once. There's only one Fountain of Life. There is no other. And no one can have the same extract. No one. Now, as Thomas talked about, initially when we started, we had our worldwide MLM exclusivity, which I told you guys. And that evolved to become full food grade exclusivity worldwide in any shape or form of commerce. So that's it. If someone's claiming something, will that be something they got in the past? But that product would be expired, long expired, and Health Canada should look into that. All right. So full exclusivity, anyway, any shape or form. There's only one Fountain of Life. In the chat group, everybody, write it down. There's only one Fountain of Life. Let's go back to the spruce extract story first. Yep. You told me a story about some doctor, and then he wanted to tell us the spruce story. Well, okay. All our new people.
I can repeat it. Yes. So actually, I need to start then with granula, because granula was started to make cosmetic products, sunscreens, UV protection, UVB, UVA, broadband, and we developed that from physical particles that don't penetrate the skin. And as you know, now finally FDA has commissioned tests that we talked and showed results on 15 years ago, that organic filters penetrate the skin. And when they penetrate the skin, they are very efficient to take up UV light, and the extra energy is making free radicals in the skin, and that way is increasing the risk to get melanoma. So we knew, of course, that even if we have good scattering from the particles we use and uptake with MBBT and so on, we would need a very good antioxidant, a free radical scavenger, because the sun is anyway hitting your skin. So when we were looking then for the next step, besides the UVB and UVA protection, we looked for the free radical protection. And from the vitamins, we learned then that they are not stable in heat or sunlight. They are consumed. So we were looking for something else that would be the best of the best. So I told the State Technical Research Foundation that were giving money to universities and so on, that it would make sense that the companies would join these projects, so we could convert the results to products into the market. And that's where we came in contact with Åbo Academy, where they had started then a project looking at antioxidants, free radical scavengers from the trees, from bark and so on. And we joined the project and put money in there. And then the professor there told that the start of the projects came from his wife, because he had a big spruce tree in front of his summer house that was shielding the sunshine, and his wife was very angry about that all the time, so he had to take it down. And when he took it down, he then thought that, okay, there seems to be a lot of the wood branch knots here, and so he collected some of them and put into his refrigerator, and thought that later he will analyze them, because he was professor in wood chemistry and pulp and paper chemistry. So then maybe a year later he took it up and analyzed them and found that there was a lot of antioxidants, free radical scavengers there, lignans, and that started then the project.
So
okay.
This is interesting, because I remember when I heard that story that some scientist's wife wanted the spruce tree down.
Yeah.
So he cut a branch and left it in the fridge, and it lasted there for 2 years?
Yeah, 1 or 2 years. I don't remember how long, but then he analyzed it finally and found out that it is very interesting.
You know what, Thomas, when I heard that story, I was building a mansion on the waterfront at the time, and in the back there was a bunch of trees, and it's on the waterfront, so it was blocking the water views. Yeah. So I had to take down 2 trees. And I did a video on this. I put it on all our chat groups, and I could still dig that video out. I said, guys, I just heard a theory that a spruce tree, when chopped up, it still lasts years, but every other tree dries up in 2 weeks, becomes firewood. So I had cut 2 trees. I have big forests in the back. And one was a regular tree. I don't know what type of tree it is, has this big leaves on it. The other one was a spruce tree. And I kept videoing it 2 weeks later, and I see the regular tree was getting all yellow, and it was just, it was chopped up, drying up. And the spruce tree was happy and green. I had no idea. He was sitting on the ground. 6 months later, of course, the other trees it's become a white, it's all dried up now, it's become firewood. And the spruce tree, there was some yellow stuff in there, but it's still green. The following summer, it's like a year later, I got this massive, well, one of them is just firewood, but there's this massive half green. It's still a year later, half green spruce tree lying this way on the ground. I'm thinking, oh my God, what keeps you alive? Because he's chopped up. Do you have any idea what keeps it alive? Obviously, free radicals and all this stuff that, it's the most powerful antioxidant. Is that what's keeping it alive, not allowing the free radicals to kill it?
Yeah, so then we come to the properties of the chemicals that we found in the tree. And it turns out that these lignans and the extract we get from there is antimicrobial and antivirial, and of course then also antioxidant. And that means that it's like a protection chemical for the tree. So when the branch breaks, then it puts out these chemicals, and that way protecting the wood. So that then harmful microbes and others that will then deteriorate the tree would not come into the tree.
I know the spruce tree in Finland looks different than the one in Canada, for example. In Finland, it's skinny and tall, very, very tall. In Canada, they're short and fat. So, I don't know how that works. But so the reason why, I guess, my little knowledge of why the spruce tree is the VIP of all trees, and then the spruce tree from northern Finland or Norway is much more better than ones in Canada, for example, and the other spruce trees, because the treacherous weather you guys got over there, because we think it's bad in Canada. It's really bad where you guys are.
The real issue is that we have big differences in the concentration of these chemicals in these trees within Finland already. And the reason is that in order to produce a lot of these, you have to be in circumstances, for instance, where you have a lot of snow. So the snow can then harm the tree, so that you break the branches, and then the trees there have developed a very efficient mechanism to make these chemicals.
The spruce tree in Finland, because there's so much treacherous weather, the snow, the wind, all that, it keeps damaging the tree over time, thousands of years. So the tree has learned to be very strong to withstand the damage. That's why the spruce tree in Norway and Finland is far more potent than one in Canada, because over time it's developed to deal with the stuff that goes on in nature. For example,
Is that we have big differences in the concentration of these chemicals in these trees within Finland already. And the reason is that in order to produce a lot of these, you have to be in circumstances, for instance, where you have a lot of snow. So the snow can then harm the tree so that you break the branches, and then the trees there have developed a very efficient mechanism to make these chemicals.
The spruce tree in Finland, because there's so much treacherous weather, the snow, the wind, all that, it keeps damaging the tree over time, thousands of years. So the tree has learned to be very strong to withstand the damage. That's why the spruce tree in Norway and Finland is far more potent than one in Canada, because over time it's developed to deal with the stuff that goes on in nature. For example, humans are like that too. The harder the environment, the more we adapt to it, right?
Yeah.
So that's why, and that's exactly. This is why the spruce tree in your part of the world is so much more potent than the spruce tree in other parts of the world, because they don't have over thousands of years this treacherous weather that's keep harming the tree. And I heard something about how, when a regular tree loses a limb, and sometimes it kills the tree. But in spruce tree, within 30 days, the sap comes and heals itself. Like, this is miraculous stuff.
Yeah. So I would come back also to this COVID and flu, since I have some data that have been published elsewhere, where they have what they call in silico. That means that they use computer calculations on how the molecular structure is for these lignans, and they looked for molecules that could block the ACE2 receptor, and that is the receptor where the spike protein goes in or attach. And if you could find out some other that would go there instead, then it would be blocked. Okay, and that's why I was interested in that. And it turns out that some of these lignans we have here exactly block the ACE2 receptor. So eating these lignans and using it as mouthwater and gurgling will give you some small droplets into your lungs that will help to reduce the attachment of spike proteins.
That's why I wanted to have this conversation with you. That's very, very interesting. Well, although it's a topic, that we don't want to get too deep into, I do want to press you on some of the stuff, though. I know you do a lot of stuff in the background, but there's so much I want to ask you, though, because we don't get to do these type of conversation. Now, when we found out about this, and we realized it's the most potent antioxidant in the world, so the first thing we did is, okay, let's use it in everything. Like, we put it in our shampoos, because obviously your skin is the biggest organ in your body. And we know this has three properties: anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and anti-inflammation. Now, you were saying something about how the Fountain of Life takes away the sugar from the juice. Explain that.
So when you add some of the Fountain of Life, the lignans in your drink, then it has the taste like Campari. So it's not sweet, but it's what you call, it's bitter. It reduces the taste of sugar.
One question, Dr. Anders, that comes up, I know we have the Fountain of Life registered now in many countries, but you still got some countries, well, one anyways for sure, like Mexico, for example, they still don't have the carrier as food grade because they're behind Canada and the rest of the world, whatever. So explain the different kinds of, that the carrier has the same name almost, but the different grades. Explain the difference between the one that you use or anyone else uses.
When studying the properties of the lignans, they are not polar and not hydrophobic. They are something in between. And then you need to formulate it in a way that it's dissolved. And then we found that these carriers we use, and like in the material you use, are the optimum to use in this. Okay. Now, unfortunately, in Mexico, that carrier was registered as a medical carrier for some reason. I don't know why, but they seem to have some medicine that they used this carrier to work with, and since it was registered there as a medical carrier, they cannot change it.
I do want to talk about the trimethylene glycol, because this is a derivative of the corn. It is a food grade. It is something that is the carrier. The Fountain of Life extract itself is one ingredient. The carrier is basically, can you talk to us a little bit more about that? Because unfortunately, as you know, sometimes people just Google things and they don't understand it. I cover it now for everyone to be known. We're sitting here with a developer, the Formulator. This product, before the Fountain of Life, was always used in cosmetic products for over 24 years. Thomas and his team have done a phenomenal job creating and developing products that were directed towards the melanoma, which is, of course, skin cancer, for those of you who don't know. Then when Thomas developed this, he made it into a food grade, which he's been able to develop and create. And we have the world exclusivity when it comes to that at Opulence Global. So Thomas, can you talk to me a little bit about the trimethylene glycol? Also, I need you to talk to me a little bit about the lignans. And now that you just explained to me about the leptin signals when it came to the weight loss aspect of it, so much triggers are going off, and makes a lot of sense for me as well, why we've had this huge amount of weight loss in our community, not just Ramin and I. So please take it away.
Yes. Okay. So one is that that molecule suits very well for the lignan, different lignans to be dissolved. And at the same time, the chemical is very safe, and it's green, comes from nature, corn. So that makes it unique and very useful in this context. But I would go a bit further. Connecting back to the anti-inflammatory issue, when you eat the lignans, then they are taking directly up in your blood from the mouth, for instance, and then when they have been some time in your digestion, it's converted to enterolactone and enterodiol, and those are anti-inflammatory components in blood. We have known it for many, many years, no question. So the lignans molecule is making a small change, and now it's enterolactone or enterodiol, and they looks very similar to the lignans. But that is what you normally have in your blood as anti-inflammatory. Now, you have certainly noticed and talked about the anti-inflammatory and also the property that it takes away pain. So if you burn yourself, either by the sun or by the heat, then you get inflammation response, and that is very painful many times. Now, if you use the lignans, this product on the skin, and wait 5-10 minutes, you have no pain. and it takes away the inflammation. So next morning, if you burnt yourself in the sun, next morning you will feel fine. And you should just keep on applying the material several times a day, a few times a day. And that will heal you very quickly. So I have unfortunately burnt myself, my finger. I have used it, so I know for sure. I have given very hot food to one medical doctor and told him that we make an experiment now, and you will get 5-6 drops of my medicine. And then 10 minutes later, he said, well, yeah, really functions. You have no pain left, and now you feel also the dessert. So you really get back your senses.
Absolutely.
Every time we talk about certain effect with quality of life, for example, the sugar, like, and then, or weight loss, for example, then you always have the negative, the other, not negative, the opposite effects for some people who are not gaining weight. All of a sudden they get the appetite, and all of a sudden they're starting to gain weight and they're feeling better. So there are people like me who help, I guess it reduced my inflammation, and I start to trim down over time. And there's other people who are really, really skinny, something wasn't working in their body, and all of a sudden take Fountain of Life, and they're starting to gain weight, and that's what they want. So I guess I'm not sure if you have all the answers because you have to do the testing, but the way I see it, after go for it. You got it.
Yeah. Well, you know, your body is a very complex machinery, and in both extremes, when you are very fat or you're very skinny, then probably you have some
Efficiency
in your metabolism that not working correctly. One could be the microbiome you have in your digestion.
Yeah.
And it is more and more important to take care of the microbiome in your digestion, because it seems also that it is connected to Alzheimer and Parkinson and all these, that you can first detect the changes in the nerve cells in the digestion system before you can detect it in your brains.
I need to go back because, you know, over the years, we've seen a huge change in many different people, from, like you said, dementia, Alzheimer's, gut health, weight loss, and all of it has to do with the lignin source of the Fountain of Life, the extraction process, and really what we're receiving in our body. And, you know, one thing we teach everyone is really what you're not receiving in your food from your diet, you're able to receive this in a source of lignins from the plant antioxidant found in the Fountain of Life.
We really care about the food grade, which is because we eat it. So, and we not only eat it, we use it topically and we use it sublingually, and that's, you know, but there's a lot going on with this. There's a lot going on with this, and I hope you guys enjoyed it the way I did. I learned so much about this, and we didn't even touch the surface of what's going on for this product. So with that, I think, Sanaz, we're just going to close the call.
Well, we want to all, from the Opulence Nation, we want to say thank you so much for being on the call, for your time. I know it's evening time for you. And of course, send our regards to your family. Thank you again. It was great seeing you recently. We look forward to having you on a call again so we can go through more questions and really inspire our nation with everything.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dr. Anis.